We all have these main areas of our life that are important to us: family, friends, work, health, and maybe things like hobbies and religion. And I found that even though some areas of my life might thrive, they never seem to all thrive at the same time. And I'm pretty sure that as I get more responsibilities in my life, that's going to be even more difficult. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like no matter how hard I try, I can never commit the same amount of energy and time into everything that's important to me. And I guess that comes down to one simple thing. When we say yes to something, it means we're also saying no to something else. Your career might not be where you want it to be. You might find it so hard juggling your side hustle or business, and you might find it completely overwhelming being a parent, and seriously, I take my hat off to you. You might be so focused on your own things that it's hard making time for your family and friends, and you know you need to work out and be healthy, but yeah, sometimes that does take the backseat. I'm not trying to be negative here, although I appreciate I sound it. I just want to take the pressure off, I guess. We're all balancing a lot, and we're all so hard on ourselves, but life is a balancing act and we're all doing it. Things may look perfect on social media, but no one has their life completely put together. In the same way that you get overwhelmed by life, so does everyone else, and maybe that's something we can find comfort in. All you can really do is try your best, and I know that's so corny, so I'm going to try and make this video practical too. I already have a lot of videos where I talk about how I'm trying to simplify my life to be less overwhelmed, but I also wanted to talk about trying to balance everything we want in life, because I think sometimes we're so focused on our career, but that's not the only thing that we want or need to live a happy life. And by the way, this is just what works for me. If we have to make sacrifices, which, like I said, we do, then we need to make those sacrifices based on our values. Values show up in everything we do. It's the choices we make, how we spend our time, and what we're about. And I think it's even more so important in this social media age, because it's so easy to look at other people's lives and think that you want what they want. But that just piles on the pressure, and it's not always the case. Understanding your values requires reflection and getting away from people and social media and just sitting with yourself and asking, what really matters to me? I've put my values in a place where I'll always see them, and then whenever I'm making a choice or setting a goal or scheduling my day or even just consuming content, I'm always questioning whether it reflects even just some of my values, because if it does, it means that even though my life might not be completely together, it will still be aligned with the life that I want. And then let's talk about goals, because goals are a funny one. I've drastically changed how I set goals, because in the past, all I focused on was my career and fitness goals, and reaching my goals didn't make me any happier because it didn't really reflect the life that I wanted. Goals give us a sense of direction, but if you're happy with where you are, you don't always need to set them. And if you do set goals, instead of just resorting to career and fitness goals, think about which areas of your life actually need them so that you can feel more balanced. We all have these roles and responsibilities that we need to give both time and energy to. Time is fixed. We all have 24 hours a day, and no amount of time management changes that. But what does change is our energy levels. Sometimes we feel depleted and overwhelmed, and other times we feel recharged and everything feels more easy. And I know our energy is affected by things like sleep, going outside, and the things that are going on around us. But I've also noticed that when I focus too much on just one area of my life, that's when I end up feeling more drained. So if I'm working all the time, or if I'm constantly going out or speaking to people, which could be my introverted side crying out for help, but just in general, I find that if my balance is off, I can tell because of my energy levels. So now, instead of following daily schedules, I just check in with myself and see how much energy I've got. I appreciate that sometimes I'll have more energy to give to everything, but there will also be days where I'm completely unproductive or I won't want to see or talk to anyone. And on those days, I need to respect the balance of my life and focus on the things that will help me to feel more recharged. It's really annoying because even though I finished work or finished a YouTube video, I'll then go to bed thinking about it. And that means that I've not only just spent 8 hours on work, I've spent pretty much the entire day on work because mentally, I've not let myself enjoy anything else. And then I wonder why I'm so overwhelmed. So to help with this, there's a really great idea in the book, The 3 Alarms. The author sets 3 alarms each day to focus on different parts of his identity. So he has his 6:30 a.m. world champion alarm, a 9 a.m. work alarm, and then he has his 6:30 world's best husband and father alarm. So every time this alarm goes off, he knows he has to switch his identity and mindset. And I think that's so important because it's just so easy for us to get wrapped up in one thing, especially when we're so motivated by it. But sometimes you just need that nudge to switch off to create the space for other things in your life. I've been trying to just take the pressure off that I have to be on top of absolutely everything, and that's helped a lot. You don't have to be perfect, and when you realize that, it just gives you the space to just live. I appreciate that there may be waves and that sometimes I might make a lot of progress in one thing only to fall behind at a later date when I'm focusing on something else. That's just life. And that's the sacrifice you have to make when you want to live a well-rounded life. Instead of beating myself up over it, instead I'm celebrating my wins. So even when I've not finished everything on my to-do list, if I got to call my mum that day, or go to the gym, or even feel more rested after binge watching on Netflix, that's a win. It's so powerful that we can control our lives and what we choose to focus on, but we have to stop being so hard on ourselves. You might not be thriving with everything all of the time, but you're still thriving, and I hope you can see that.